Chapter 7. Trapped. In shock, Tiger said, "Foxes!" She was terrified. Kitten stood no chance against these dogs of the night, no matter how brave or defiant they pretended to be. Shadow began to snivel as he trembled before the three foes. Now, catling," said the leader of the pack. "Save those tears. I don't want you all soggy when I gobble you down." Shadow burst into tears. The three foxes exploded with laughter, which made them sound like amused hyenas. Tiger moved close to her brother and whispered something into his ear, then added some soothing words a little louder. "You know," said the lead fox, "I'm feeling a little tired tonight, what with all that digging and climbing while trying to find a way into the new chicken coops. Be a sport, will you? Run straight into my mouth." He lowered his head to the ground and opened his mouth wide. His chin just touched the dirt. The two other foxes found this to be hilarious. Their laughter was soon echoed by their leader, who had a surprising fit of giggles and ended up on his back with his legs running through the air. "Now!" Tiger said sharply. Without pause, she bolted between the foxes and raced to the nearby barn. Shadow was just a few steps behind. "Get them!" yelled the leader. Tiger and Shadow were no match for the adult foxes, who gained on them with every step. The pair of kittens were almost overtaken as they all reached the building. With a quick turn, the kittens suddenly changed direction and made for a door which stood ajar. The foxes crashed into the side of the barn, one on top of the other, but they soon found their feet and were almost upon their prey just as the kittens entered the building. "No!" yelled Tiger in shock. "This isn't our home," whimpered Shadow. The three foxes slowly entered the barn. Tiger looked for another exit without success. One of the foxes sat in front of the door while the other two slowly approached Tiger and Shadow. The kittens backed away. "Got you now," sneered the leader. "Playtime is over, and I'm hungry." Suddenly, something dropped from the rafters and startled both fox and kitten alike. It was a massive black cat. "I don't think so," it hissed at the foxes as it prowled side to side, separating the foxes from the kittens. Tiger and Shadow took advantage of the barrier and increased the distance between themselves and those that intended to eat them. "It's Tom," the fox by the door said, his tone dripping with awe. "Boss, let's get out of here," said the other. The pack leader did not reply for a while. "No," he said eventually, "there are three of us, and only one of him. We may never get a better chance to take down the king of the farm." By now, Tiger had climbed an empty stall and walked along the edge of the wooden panel to get a better view. She felt safer up here in the hope the foxes would never manage to scale up to her position. Shadow soon joined her, and the pair looked on with worried faces. Was their uncle really going to take on three foxes? Tiger knew he was more than capable of defeating one of them, or even two, but three at the same time? "I still owe you one," Tom said as he moved within striking distance of the pack leader. His tone was almost dismissive of the situation, but his damaged face and white eye bore a frightening warning. He would never run, no matter how much the odds were stacked against him. "That must be the fox that hurt his face," Shadow whispered high above the confrontation. "That's right, young Shadow," said Tom. "Legree here ganged up on me when I was younger. One of his pack got lucky with a claw across my face and took my left eye, but he's the one responsible for my scars." "And now we meet again," Legree barked. "Don't be afraid, boys. He's ours tonight." The fox by the door nervously backed away until he was half through the opening. I, he stammered. "I'll get the others." Without waiting for a reply, he turned and bolted. "And then there were two," Tom said calmly. He turned about and started to walk away. Legree snapped into action and launched himself onto the back of the cat, Snarling jaws made for Tom's neck, but the cat was strong and threw the fox off by springing up onto his rear legs. The second fox came in fast and lunged at Tom as the leader recovered. Tom rolled onto his back as the fox muzzle clamped onto his fur. Then with a rapid rear leg clawing running motion, Tom fought back. The fox soon loosed his grip and moved away, yelping in pain. There was no rest for Tom, though. Legree ran in and managed to grasp Tom's neck in his jaws, but it was only skin and fur. Tom scratched and clawed back as best he could, but he was unable to get himself into a good position no matter how hard he wriggled or turned. Such was the grip of the fox. The two rolled about on the barn floor as each desperately fought to get the upper paw. The second fox came back into the fray and bit Tom's leg. Legree took advantage of the distraction and adjusted his jaws. He had the cat's neck just where he wanted it. The fight was all but over. The foxes had won, and Legree was moments away from claiming his throne as the top animal on the farm. Tiger could not believe it. Her uncle was losing. It was not possible. "No!" she yelled as she leaped through the air. She landed on Legree's back and deployed her needle-sharp claws. They dug in deep. Such was the shock of the attack, Legree released Tom as he shook off the kitten. It was a near-fatal move as Tom rolled clear and came straight back at the pack leader. The second fox fled from the barn after one look at Tom's fierceness. Faced with the great Tom on his own, Legree barked once, then ran away. Tom made to chase but stopped at the door. Satisfied with what he saw, he returned to the panting kitten. Shadow made his way down via a tall barrel and then a wooden crate. "I can't believe you did that," he said in awe to his sister. "Are you okay?" Tom asked. "I think so," Tiger said shakily. Her heart pounded as she nervously watched the door. "They're long gone," Tom said reassuringly. "The fox's strength is in the pack. When that breaks, they are significantly weaker." "Why did you turn your back on them?" Tiger asked. "I was giving them a chance to leave with dignity. Foxes are shrewd characters. Legree could have made up an excuse to leave without fighting, perhaps calling me a coward and then departing to tell the rest of the pack I was too scared to fight. Alas, there are years of bad blood between the two of us. He probably couldn't help himself." "Well, I'm glad you were here, Uncle," said Shadow. "We were goners." Tiger nodded in agreement. "We were heading home and they caught us by surprise." "Let's not worry about that now," said Tom. "Over 20 of us have been looking for you. We thought the two legs had taken you up to the big house. We've been sneaking in and trying to find you all day. There's no way the foxes would have come this close had we all been around." Tom gently patted each of the kittens with his huge paw. "Come on, let's get you back. Your mother is frantic with worry." "I'm so hungry," Shadow squealed. "I've been too scared to think about my empty tummy," Tiger added. "Well, let's get some milk into you then," Tom said with a gentle laugh. And with that, he shepherded the two little kittens out of the building, around the corner, and into their own barn. Never had Tiger felt so relieved. The familiar sight of Yoo-hoo, the smells of the barn, and of course, Mother, sitting by the cardboard box, was almost too much for the little kitten. She felt like crying with joy, but managed to dam the flow before the tears started. "Thank you, Tom," said Mother. Tiger and Shadow yelped with glee and raced over to their mother. "Where did you find them?" she asked. Tom laughed. "They found me, sis. I was on rat patrol and they came rushing into the unused barn. I can't stop now. I need to tell the others the good news and get everyone back on duty, especially as Legree paid us a visit." The big cat leaped up onto the barrier that contained the horse, hopped onto her back, then jumped through the window out into the night. "And we were chased by foxes," said Shadow, barely able to contain his excitement. "And Uncle had a fight with 2 of them." Here it comes, thought Tiger. Her moment of acceptance was nigh. Once Shadow told the others how she had joined the fight to help her uncle, her family would have a new-found respect for her. No more jibes and meanness were just a few seconds away. And then Tom chased them away, said Shadow. Tiger's world deflated quicker than a party balloon being kissed by a pin. Where have you been, Shadow? And thank you for finding little Tiger too. But he didn't find me, Tiger's mind screamed. Before she could say anything, her mother lifted Tiger and Shadow by the scruff of the neck, as mother cats do, and tenderly placed them into their box. The blanket beneath Tiger's feet, as grimy and smelly as it was, felt wonderful. The soft texture caressed her feet as she instinctively pawed at the material. Socks, Carrot and Pip surrounded Shadow and hit him with a barrage of questions. Tiger tried to ignore the sadness resulting from them all ignoring her, but it was not easy, especially when Shadow exaggerated his adventure and let the others think he had rescued her. No one would believe her now. Shadow's word against hers was not a situation Tiger relished. Just as disappointing was the thought of not being able to tell the others about her own adventure. She knew they would never believe it. The kitten tried to replace these sad thoughts with better ones. She was home, and she was safe. Mother lay on her side. "Give Shadow some space, little ones," she said. "You can hear all about his adventures later." A tiny tear appeared in the corner of Tiger's eye as she watched her brother snuggle in and suckle on the offered milk. Slurping sounds soon filled the box. Tiger's sadness made her turn away. Despite being ever so hungry, she had lost her appetite. Shadow suddenly stopped feeding and turned to face the others. A dribble of milk ran down his chin. "I can't do this," he said. "This is not right." "What is it?" asked Pips. "Did you get hurt fighting those mean foxes?" asked Carrot. "Shadow," asked Mother, "what's the matter? Are you hurt?" "No, I am not," he bellowed. Tiger looked up and saw that Shadow was looking directly at her with intense eyes. She worried that she had done something wrong, even though she could not think what that could be. "Shadow," their mother said softly, "what's going on?" "I'm not a hero. I didn't find Tiger. She found me. I was stuck in a little tree and she helped me get down, and she saved Uncle from the foxes." "What?" said Socks in disbelief. "That's right," said Shadow. "Uncle was trying to fight two foxes and was done for. Then Tiger leaped from way up high and landed right on Legree's back, and then she gave him what for with her claws. You ask Uncle, he'll tell you it's no lie." Everyone looked at Tiger. She looked at each of their faces. "Come here, little one," said Mother soothingly. "You must be hungry too." Tiger tentatively approached. Shadow stepped aside and smiled. His grin lightened Tiger's dark mood, especially when she noticed a small droplet of milk trapped in his whiskers. "There's room for both of you," said Mother, as she used a paw to encourage the two kittens to feed. The mummy milk had never tasted so good to Tiger. She gulped, and her tummy gurgled with delight. No one pulled or pushed her aside this time. Shadow, the biggest, the bravest, and the blackest of them all, started to lick her ears and then her face. The other kittens approached and tenderly helped clean her too. With milk filling her belly and the soft, warm, furry walls closing in around her, Tiger began to purr and soon fell into a deep and happy sleep. The end.